Okay, this is a go-home show, right? This is a go-home show, surprisingly. Yeah, TLC is Sunday. What do you want me to say about this show? What, that it sucked? Well, 9 times out of 10, you're right if you're watching this video right now, but yeah, Monday Night Raw, folks. Monday Night Raw. What do I really have to say about this show? Yes, this was a go-home show. And how do we kick off the show tonight, folks? How do we kick off the show with Monday Night Raw before TLC this Sunday? Let's have a little bit of story time with The Miz, okay? Since I guess he wants to get into the Christmas spirit and whatnot, we do have the dirt sheet and, this would be the what do you say that the final episode of this year was going to happen. So he had to promote his own show, but then we read the story of the Nightmare Before TLC, the captivating narrative by The Miz, which AJ Styles was in it also, with a light shining on him. This looked like a community theater performance, which we'll get into in a second. Well, someone's going to come out and say that. But, McIntyre shows up, dresses like Braveheart. They can take away our food, but they'll never take away our freedom. Dude, he did this in 2009, if I remember, dressing like Braveheart. Go look it up. It was an old episode of SmackDown in 09, or was it 08? No, maybe it's 2010. 2010, 2009, I think it was. And I think it was making fun of McIntyre, and he was dressed like Braveheart. They could take away our food, but they'll never take away our freedom. So, AJ's narrating the story, and I guess Morrison was dressed as McIntyre, I guess, which, it was AJ Styles beating him up, and Miz talked about he's going to cash his money in the bank and become the WWE champion. AJ was kind of pissed by this, and, that wasn't in the book I gave you, okay? But Sheamus came out, because he's supposed to go against AJ, and enough of the little community theater y'all are having out here. You're part of the problem right now, as Styles kind of get back, and, Miz and Morrison were there too, but they kind of backed off also. Well, he was going to go for them anyways, but Sheamus ended up getting a giant gift box and throwing it at AJ Styles' head, knocking him on the ground, which we went to commercial, and coming back, that had the match going on. What do I have to say from this? One, another dirt sheet segment. Miz and Morrison, which you get a lot of TV time more and more often now, I see, even kicking off the show. Well, they've been kicking off the show too. Why do we have story time with The Miz? I have no idea. Okay? I have zero clue. I'm going to get into Miz and Morrison later enough. We got a lot to say about that. But next, it was AJ Styles versus Sheamus, which was actually probably the best match out of this entire night. A very good match, too. Some would say he was really fighting for the title right here, especially AJ having such a competitive match with Sheamus before this Sunday. But still a very good match. Also, some say Sheamus got a lot of offense, but I enjoyed this match a lot. Okay, I did. Now, AJ did focus on Sheamus' bad leg throughout the match. His bodyguard got involved, but, got to the ropes then. Styles ended up hitting Sheamus' leg off the ropes and then covering him. So just basically going for his leg, taking him out. But as AJ was about to get away, Sheamus kind of started pointing at him. He grabbed AJ in. The bodyguard stopped Sheamus out of the ring. Basically, Sheamus was hanging on the ropes. AJ took a chair and started beating Sheamus with it several times, even before he left, focusing on, his bad knee and everything, just beating the crap out of him. So it does put heat on AJ before, TLC this Sunday, basically beating up McIntyre's friend right here. So, this did make sense in the post-attack, like I said, with AJ and his giant bodyguard. So that wasn't that bad. Other than the story time being bad, the match wasn't bad itself, and the post angle to it. The Hurt Business was walking around the back, messing with some dude, eating some bro nuts. So they got him some milk, okay? They got him some milk. But, MVP went on to say, they're going to take on New Day and Jeff Hardy tonight and take him out. As Lashley says they're going to be in a world of hurt. Jeff Hardy and the New Day were in the back then talking until Riddle talked about, the New Day, you guys don't have a Big E out there, so how about you get Bro E? He says, yeah, I like that idea. Okay, we'll talk about this later. You can help us against the Hurt Business and whatnot, okay? But next we did get Jeff Hardy in the New Day versus the Hurt Business. One little thing, fun fact before moving on, in this match, I do want to say it has been 12 years since Jeff Hardy has won the WWE Championship since Armageddon 2008. I thought that was a fun fact I learned today. Still a great moment at that time. I remember Armageddon 2008 very, very well. Okay, and that was a big moment because I go like, guys, he got rocked the shirt also, but Jeff Hardy winning that title that night is still one of the best moments I've ever seen of somebody winning a WWE Championship. One of my favorites winning the title at the time. So it's crazy that it's been 12 years and still a great moment to watch to this day. So that's still one of my all-time favorite moments of Jeff Hardy winning the WWE Championship. That was a great match too. Edge and Triple H and them. That was a very great match that year, especially in the end of the year when Hardy won the title. That was great. But moving on to the tag team match though. Basically just ate up a lot of time. Not a bad match though, I'll say that. It ended up with Lashley hitting the Hurt Lock on the Hardy, basically winning by submission. So 2 weeks in a row, Lashley has got Hardy. So that he's going for the title and whatnot. Asuka and Lana were in the back preparing, talking about their match for the Sunday for the tag titles. Lana faced Nia Jax, and Lana beat Nia Jax somehow. I'm surprised by that, which she slipped on the ropes and covered her then. Asuka was celebrating before she was attacked by Shayna Baszler. Next thing you know, Nia Jax ended up attacking Lana then, beating her up on the mat. Next thing you know, Baszler came out. They both jumped her and everything. Hit her with a, leg drop until Asuka came back while Lana was on the ground crying and whatnot. So basically, I guess this puts heat on them. Like, once again, they're still trying to do the sympathy card for Lana, but I doubt that's even going to happen anymore because we'll get to this in a second. One thing to say about Nia Jax also, as a lot of people said over the weekend, and I'm going to get into that story also, but, if they send Keith Lee and all these other big guys to go back for training, why didn't they send Nia Jax with them also? Definitely should have sent her. That's the main one that needs to go back into some retraining process because she is a botch machine. So I think they may have sent some of the wrong people there, or maybe should have sent her with also. Next, Elias was in the ring as he was in his guitar, and the next thing you know, he had Jackson Riker, or AKA Gunner, for some reason out there with him. Basically talking about the whole Symphonies of Destruction match a couple weeks ago, and that Riker's not a normal man. And that, he said it led him to purpose and everything. And as they try to walk with Elias, and that he said that Elias' music has changed him and is reborn in the universal truth. And that he will not be interrupted and whatnot. He's been attacked too many times. And it's going to stop now. Truth came out and interrupted. He says, I want to apologize about what happened on Main Event. I'm surprised they even mentioned that show. But I'm not here to interrupt you in anything. And Elias says, you're not interrupting? All right, we'll continue on with the song. And next thing you know, of course, the Cavalry, or not the Cavalry, but the 24/7 guys came out to chase the belt. Gunner took Tozawa now. Was it Tozawa? Oh, yeah, Tozawa, and I think I think it's Lince Dorado out. Before this was over. Okay, now what? Elias needs a bodyguard all of a sudden. So this is like another version of AJ with that giant almost dude and whatnot. So basically, Elias and Riker damn near the same size. Now, I will say this: I'm almost surprised to even see him back on TV in general, since he buried himself and was gone for months. Because if you do know, this guy was in the Forgotten Sons. Let's be honest, Forgotten Sons weren't really going anywhere in NXT, nor the main roster. And then again, this guy buried himself on the internet and basically disappeared for months because the dude was a Trump supporter. And like I said before, I think I've said this before, he buried himself, especially during, I think it was when Trump was holding up that Bible or something, and especially during a lot of the protests over police brutality and whatnot. So yeah, this guy buried himself, and the locker room was not really fucking with him, and some people in the locker room did bury him online. So basically, Gunner there ruined his own push for the Forgotten Sons and was off of TV for almost, how long has it been? 4-5 months, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, this guy basically, I'm almost surprised he's even back on TV. I really am. And trust me, the reaction I've seen on the internet tonight, it's just mostly everybody shitting on him. Like, oh, this motherfucker's back. They said, well, how he feels now since Trump lost, as some would say. So, yeah, that's the reason why we have not really seen Gunner here on TV for months. But like I said before, the Forgotten Sons were not really going anywhere. That's why they got the other two guys with Corbin on SmackDown. I guess they finally found something for him. But still, yeah, this guy buried himself on the internet. So that's the reason why he's been off TV, basically Trump supporter. That's why, and saying some stupid shit. But like I said, him and Elias are the same size. Miz and Morrison, we're talking about the Money in the Bank contract. Keith Lee had a coin to flip it, and I said land on heads. Congratulations. The only thing you're going to win is basically me dropping on your head. Next was Keith Lee versus Miz and Morrison in a handicap match. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people been talking about Keith Lee over the weekend and other guys, how Vince has sent them back to Performance Center for training and whatnot. A lot of people didn't think he was even going to be on the show tonight. Now, I don't think Keith Lee was being sent back as punishment or anything, or that Vince didn't believe him. But I think people took that out of context, is that I believe he was sent back. And even a lot of people have said this because, okay, Keith Lee's a big dude, and they sent a lot of other big guys. Basically, they must be training him to, use power moves and be kind of trained to be like big guys out there instead of having the big guys move around like cruiserweights a lot. Yes, Keith Lee can do a lot of crazy stuff in the ring. We've seen this guy fly, but I think they want him to keep him on his ground game more and just use his strength instead of just flying all over the place. Some people think it's because of that dive he did and almost basically landed on his head on the apron and whatnot. Some believe that that's why they probably sent him back. So some people think he wasn't going to be back already or even on the show tonight, but he is back already. So I don't think this was some type of form of punishment or anything, having him being sent back to the Performance Center. I think it was some tweaking or maybe, I don't know. Because someone even pointed this out. I remember, Undertaker was down there training with those NXT guys in the documentary. Some say he was training the big guys and whatnot on how to move, so that may have been the case too. But I can understand why they sent him back. So I don't think he was getting buried right here. Now, for this match, some would say he may have been buried here. But then again, yes, Miz and Morrison won because it was, having a man advantage. Two of them hitting moves on Keith Lee. And then, getting a double pin. And they called it lucky because Keith Lee got back up. Then again, Miz and Morrison lose almost every match every week. I'm surprised they weren't beat up by Drew McIntyre again. But I guess they wanted to give them a win here against Keith Lee's. But Keith Lee will probably beat these guys separately by next week or two. Do I think Keith Lee was buried? No, I'm not going to say that because he can easily get the win back. But then again, it is to Miz and Morrison, folks. But at the same time, Miz does hold the Money in the Bank contract, which we really should be taking the Money in the Bank contract winner seriously in some point. So I'm getting his ass kicked almost every week on this show. It's just now they got a fluke win over Keith Lee. So he'll probably get those wins by next week. But no, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the guy was buried, okay? But next, Bray Wyatt came out basically wearing his Christmas sweater, and his puppets were by his side in the Thunderdome, and basically talked about Randy Orton. And then, when he met The Fiend last week, one thing led to another, and then, the guy is sick, deranged, in a mind of his own. And, TLC is no laughing matter. But tonight will be. So we got a comedy hour with Bray Wyatt as he tried to tell some snake jokes and whatnot, which he started laughing all over the place. But Randy Orton came out and says, all right, you want to do jokes, huh? And I put you down with that RKO last week, but The Fiend came out of nowhere. And Orton says he was outmaneuvered. But this Sunday at TLC, it's not going to happen, or tonight on Raw. As Orton says, you want to play games, huh? So, all right, we'll play a game. How about you take a little field trip and let's play a visit, okay? Orton basically said, let's play some hide and seek. And, Wyatt says he accepted and started to laugh. And Orton says, all right, come find me then. As Wyatt said, let the games begin. So, we'll see where this goes. Retribution, Mace or Dio Matin here, which they kind of somewhat mentioned, saying that Samoa Joe is sitting in his chair, which they didn't say his name, but, they kind of know it is Dio Matin, being Mace to go against Ricochet. Do I really care about this match? Not really. It's Retribution and Ricochet. Yes, Mace won with the time bomb, Hiromu Takahashi, but yeah, he won with a time bomb move, as Mustafa said, like, you will join Retribution. Will this go anywhere? I have literally no clue, and 9 times out of 10, not really. It's Retribution. Bray Wyatt was still looking in the back. He found, Matt Riddle. I got some pronouns for you, dude. Yeah, I'm looking at the board. So if you want to check out some pronouns, then okay, I got a deal for Fly Funhouse. But Wyatt had to go. The Rabbit showed up and basically, hey, you know what? You look like Baby Yoda. I'll call you Baby Broda, dude. And then he gave him a carrot and signed it. Baby Broda right there. So I have no idea where they're going with Riddle. Like I said, looked like he's more of, as he even says in NXT, a goofier version of RVD in a way. Like I said with RVD, yes, he was high, but he was chill. Riddle, a little bit goofball with it. But what else? Shayna Baszler came out to go against Dana Brooke. Baszler, well, it was by DQ because Nia Jax pushed Dana Brooke off. And next thing you know, Mandy Rose came out, a candlestick returning, I should say, also attacking Baszler and Jax. Asuka came in for the save to take him out, which now Lana is not even in the match. She was taken out, so now she's injured. So let me get this straight. You've built Lana all this time to get to a pay-per-view after going through all those tables and whatnot, only to have her being taken out of the match now all of a sudden. So now Asuka has to find a new partner for Sunday, which makes no sense, because if you built this all the way to a tag title match, why take her out now on the go-home show before the pay-per-view, and now Asuka has to find a new partner? That makes zero freaking sense, unless it's some swerve that I have no idea where it's going on with this, okay? But after that, R-Truth was in the back talking about a PlayStation 6, or since the 5 was gone, and talked about his nephew been in detention for loitering and whatnot, saying he'd like to spend some time in the pen. Well, he spent some time in the pen, all right, the pig pen. Huskus the pig was there. Wyatt said, stop talking to strangers. And he said, you should listen to your father right there, as Wyatt had to go then after that. Bray Wyatt starts searching again for Orton, which he found a room, and it was his rocking chair he used to sit in when he was, a cult leader and whatnot. 2014 Bray Wyatt. As Wyatt sat down in, Randy Orton attacked him from behind, and then he threw him into like a container, poured gasoline on it. Basically, Orton did what he did to The Undertaker back then. Back in the year, 2004? Was it Judgment Day? Not really sure if that was a pay-per-view or not. But then again, a lot of people have done this to The Undertaker before. They put him in a box, or mostly it's a casket, but the box, and, he poured gasoline on it, and then fire started to burn. We tried to burn this man alive, folks. So this was some Undertaker burning alive type of thing. But next thing you know, the Fiend showed out, basically rose up like Kane for some reason. He attacked Randy Orton. Randy tried to fight him back, but he was put down with the mandible claw in. I'm assuming Orton's going to win this match, because it's 2 weeks in a row that Orton has kind of gotten hit by this whole mandible claw thing. But yes, we have to have some type of crazy stuff on here. Like I said, we tried to attempted murder, folks. Attempted murder on Raw. But, yes, the Fiend came from the fire, okay? What else? Matt Riddle went against MVP. Not much to say here. Riddle won, flying bro. That's kind of it. Don't really know what this thing's going on with him and Lashley, so I'm not really sure. Still a goofball at the Bro Nuts, though. In the last part of this show, AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre were out there for the Ascension title thing to raise the title up before TLC this Sunday. AJ talked about, I never met you in a singles match before. It took you 19 years to get that WWE Championship, okay? And, you've never been in a TLC match before, have you? AJ Styles says he has been in one. He's defended his WWE title and won it. Defended it successfully, I should say. And, he says he's going to do whatever it takes to take that title. Drew went in on to talk about how he's face style. He's going to face Styles. He's always wanted to face him. And now that we finally met, He always thought the goal was to become the WWE champion, but now it's keeping the championship, as McIntyre said. He's going to do whatever it takes to keep the title. And, he questioned Styles if he's willing to do the same. He did put the belt onto the hook then and raise it up. But AJ Styles said, you're not just facing me in a TLC match. Miz and Morrison came out for having a 3-on-1, but basically McIntyre took both of these guys out, made them look like some freaking J-Brones out there with some Claymore kicks. What help were they really here for? But McIntyre was getting ready to get AJ Styles with a Claymore kick, but this giant bodyguard threw the steel steps as a distraction. AJ ended up chopping his leg, hit the phenomenal forearm then, and then, he had some ladders and chairs in the ring, started hitting McIntyre with it until he climbed up the ladder, had the table set up, hit an elbow drop, and then AJ went up to climb and take the WWE Championship as McIntyre tried to get up. So, not a bad segment to end the night, especially hyping at least before TLC this Sunday for the WWE title, so it wasn't a bad promo and everything. Kind of like the beginning and the ending of this show. Everything else in it was mostly either filler or just stuff you don't really care about in a way, like whatever's going on with the women's tag belts, Retribution, Miz and Morrison, and countless others. Okay, so that's mostly what I can take from this. All right, that's mostly what I can take from this show. I thought AJ versus Sheamus wasn't a bad match also. But other than that, though, that is my review of Monday Night Raw tonight. It's not much I can really take from this unless you want to add on something to it before this pay-per-view is this Sunday, okay? So, yeah, we still have a TLC pay-per-view Sunday, folks. But, Raw, it's still bad, okay? What can I say? Like I said in the beginning of this video, do you want me to say this show sucked? Hey, I'm sure you all think that too. But yeah, this show is not really good, okay? Especially for a go-home show before Saturday. Some of it was okay in the bits and parts I pulled out of it, but still a majority of the show was bad before this pay-per-view this Sunday. Like I said, SmackDown is better than Raw in general, but other than that, though, that's mostly what I can say about Monday Night Raw tonight, okay? So, other than that, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. Check out the Urban Wrestling Network that is online right now. A lot going on this week, I should say. Also, tomorrow night, we will have a review of Impact Wrestling. I guess apparently Omega's going to be back on there. We'll see what's going to go on with that. Soon, we will have news. We will have a end-of-the-year review coming, hopefully by next week sometime. I want to wait till after TLC to do it, though, to compile everything together, okay? It's going to be a lot coming up with that. Me and my friend, we've been compiling notes, and we're going to have a lot to say when it comes to wrestling in this year. Because trust me, there's a lot to say and a lot of weird stuff that has happened, especially when it comes to this virus being a big part of what has happened to wrestling in this past year, okay? But that will be happening soon enough, because I got a lot of stuff written down, so does my friend. But other than that, though, like I said, that is my review of Raw. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow night. TLC's coming up. We'll have a review of that soon by Sunday. But still, a lot of other shows to get during this week. So I'm out here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.